Just over. Hey, mamas. Welcome back to another awesome episode of the Mama Work It podcast. So glad you're here. Super excited for our guest today. Her name is Dr. Brook Sheehan. She is a licensed chiropractor, functional medicine practitioner, and creator of Body OS, a framework rooted in both physiology and faith that helps women stop striving and start listening to the bodies God designed. She's also the host of Your Body Speaks podcast and creator of the Talk to Me Body Affirmation Card Deck, a tool designed to help women reconnect with their bodies and the individual systems, organs, and rhythms that make them whole. After swinging from total disconnection, drive-thru meals, prescriptions, to obsession, protocols, biohacking, Dr. Brook discovered true freedom in honoring the body's God-given design with trust instead of fear. Today, she equips women, especially busy, high-achieving moms, to break free from diet culture, reclaim energy and clarity, and create a sustainable way of living fully alive. I'm so excited for this conversation. Thank you so much for being here, Dr. Brook.
I'm so excited too, Marissa. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to dive in first and foremost, just learn a little bit more about your journey with burnout. Like what led you to where you are today, which it seems like is a very balanced, healthy place to be.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely a more peaceful, balanced, healthy way. I can tell you that from my experience from going to complete disconnection to swinging the pendulum to the opposite side of that overwhelm that you mentioned in the bio. So it kind of started, the complete disconnection happened growing up. Wasn't until I got pregnant with my baby girl that I really took it and was like, oh my gosh. And I would stand on these soapboxes and be like, that's so toxic. Don't do this. Eat this food. Blah, blah, blah. Taking all these supplements, listening to all these podcasts like gurus, the whole nine, right? Doing all the things because I wanted to have the healthiest pregnancy. I wanted to have the healthiest labor. I wanted my baby to be healthy. And so it was driven by all of these things, but it was driven with the obsession. And obsession is not necessarily a bad thing, but it can be very toxic when it's really consuming your life, how you do things on a daily basis. And that's what was happening. And so it caused, I want to get into the burnout part of it, the question here, because so I had my baby girl, and this is a part of the story that a lot of people don't know. So my background was financial accounting. So I come from very left side brain, Excel worksheets, the whole nine, okay? Numbers, getting every little penny balance, all of the things. And when I got pregnant with my child, I started seeing a chiropractor and I was like learning about natural health and all the things. And I was just, wow, this is so cool. Well, that's what caused it to swing to that opposite end. And I started going to chiropractic school. But prior to that, I had to do a lot of undergrad units in anatomy and physiology and all of the things because my background, like I said, was financial stuff. Um, I want to insert a really quick family history thing so people don't feel like this is so off base. I do come from a huge long line of family physicians on my dad's side. My great grandfather was a doctor. My grandfather was a doctor. His brother was a doctor. There is a condition in the world still today called the Sheehan syndrome. That was my great uncle that discovered that. So, yes, accounting, but I do believe the medicine stuff was in my blood, somewhere down the line with all of them. And so I got into, taking all these classes, going to chiropractic school. And this is where it really started to like burn out. Like I was literally burning the candle at both ends because while I was in undergrad school, I was working full time in that accounting profession. I had a baby, like a baby. Like I was doing night classes and going through a divorce. So my mama was taking care of baby girl while I was at work and in school and doing all these things. And then I left for chiropractic school and I lost it. Like I lost all my baby weight that I gained in that pregnancy, like really quick. So she was about 6 weeks old and I bounced right back to my pre-baby weight. And it was great. I was like super prideful, like, yes, I did this on my own, blah, 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 like all the things. And then I get into chiropractic school and I gained 40 pounds and I could not could not for the life of me get it off. And I was thinking in my mind, I'm like, oh, my body's been so resilient. It's like dropped the weight before. It's going to be so easy. I'm just going to get some workouts in. Oh my gosh, girl, that sent me on such a deep, dark spiral of depression, just really hating myself, trying to hide in really loose, baggy clothing. Like, it did come off. I do want to get a chance, or I do want to give you a chance to like interject if you have any questions on any of that. But I know, um, yeah, that was kind of like my burnout experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I can imagine the level of burnout you were in. I mean, working full time in a very demanding profession, back to school, and in doing something. I know you said it was in your blood, but like you probably hadn't studied subjects like that since probably high school, I would
Right.
I would think,
Yeah.
right? So it's
True.
been a
True.
minute
Yeah.
since you've heard like the term, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't studied that since
Like
college. So I don't,
carbon dioxide,
yeah,
or like hydrogen. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, all
right,
these
right.
biochemical terms. Yes.
Then I don't know. You said you had a baby. So I imagine your sleep wasn't like 1,000% where it could have been, right, during that
Yeah.
season. And did you mention you were also getting divorced at the time? So like
Yeah.
the emotional turmoil, I imagine that causes on life. Like no wonder you were
Yeah.
in burnout. No wonder your body went from like dropping a bunch of weight to maybe gaining a bunch of weight. I mean, I can
Yeah.
only imagine like the crazy stuff that your body endures during a season like that.
It was absolutely insane. And I talk about the disconnect in the beginning to swinging it to the obsession, but then it's almost like in that obsession, I became so disconnected as well. So it's weird how it kind of came full circle to
Hmm.
disconnection. And I
Yeah.
I believe that happens to a lot of women. I know it happens to a lot of people, not just women, but women are the ones we carry a lot of feelings about our body in a way that men don't carry. They're not so much worried, like, oh, I have a little pot belly. And we're like, oh my gosh, like freaking out. So yeah, it does affect us mentally. It affects us like emotionally. It affects us spiritually, not only physically, but in all those realms as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was brutal,
Yeah.
brutal, brutal.
Absolutely. And I know burnout when you're in it, you don't always recognize it.
Right.
Like, right? Like it kind of becomes your homeostasis of like
Yeah.
your normalcy. So speaking to the working moms, because we know like what that stress feels like of juggling all like I know you were in a real particular season, but I imagine listeners hearing this are like, oh yeah, no, I've been in seasons where I felt that level of
Yeah.
pressure, right?
Yeah.
But you don't always recognize it when you're in it. So tell us, what signals do our bodies give us that we should not ignore that potentially are these red flags for burnout?
Okay, so I want to give you actually 3 of them if that's okay.
Yeah.
Um, a few a few of them a lot of people typically know is like, "Oh, my hair started falling out," right? You think like, "Oh, I'm losing a lot of hair," like that's a stress response. We're not going to talk about that. Nor are we going to talk about the weight gain because that's another one that people typically notice. Those are actually those 2 things, the weight gain and the hair loss, happen as a result of you missing the signals that I'm going to get into. So some of
Okay.
the first one is fatigue, okay? We know as working moms, we're running our businesses, we're going to our jobs, we're doing our thing, we're raising our kids, all the things, taking care of our household, all of it. Extreme fatigue, and I'm talking about like when you sleep 8 hours or when you're getting your like 6 hours of sleep, if that's what you're getting on a normal basis, but you still cannot, no matter the life of you, you drink 6 cups of coffee, you're on energy drinks, doing your thing, trying to survive throughout life, and you're just like, "Oh, it's because, my kid's in soccer and I've been running around to these games and I'm doing all these things. It's because of all of this." No, it's not because of all that. It's because you're on the trajectory of that burnout path to eventually, like, hit 0. Like, I'm not talking about dying, like, that's not what I'm talking about, but it's like, completely getting to the point where you're just like, your adrenal glands aren't functioning, your mitochondria, the energy producers in your cells, like the batteries, I call them, of our bodies, those are completely depleted and needing to be renourished again. So fatigue, extreme fatigue is like one of the biggest ones. The other one is dry skin. Now, I know a lot of
Oh.
people may not even think about this, and you just put our lotions and our potions and we do all of those things, but our that dry skin, and if you're like, "Well, I drink a lot of water and I'm putting lotion on and I'm still having dry skin," that is you moving down that trajectory of burnout right there. So, when we're drinking adequate fluids, when, like, we're using the lotions, when we're doing the things, our skin should not be dry. Like, those dry, flaky patches, that's a sign of burnout. The other one, that I put down is brain fog. Like,
Mm.
and I'm not talking like people, understand, like, especially, I'm in my 40s, my hormones are changing. And there are moments where it's just like there is brain fog, but I'm talking the consistent day to day. You lose your keys, you don't remember where you set things down. It's those kind of things, not where you're just like, wait, what word was I looking for? And then it comes to you really quick. It's the brain fog that sticks, that stays there. These are all signs and signals that burnout is about to occur. Left unchecked, all three of those, you're gonna start to see the weight gain come on. You're gonna start to see the hair fall out. You're going to, like, feel completely depleted. You're gonna start to get sick a lot quicker, right? You're not gonna be as resilient through the winter and the fall seasons, of keeping your immune system strong.
Oh, wow. Okay. So good. It's like your check engine lights.
Yes.
These are the warning signals of like, do something now before your hair starts falling out.
Yeah.
Before, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't have thought about the dry skin, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's not functioning properly,
Right.
right? Like you're not absorbing enough or whatever.
Well, the thing too is our lungs require a lot of, like, fluids, so they will start to draw moisture from the skin to keep that moisture in them. So as your your skin is getting drier, you may find yourself also having difficulty, like, breathing or shortness of breath, or, you used to run 5 miles or, 5Ks and not have any issues, and you're like, "What is going on?"
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Big
Good
big
to know.
burnout sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, something that you say, let's talk about like, because women are, I agree with you, like we are typically a little more, I don't know, maybe vain about our bodies
Yeah.
or just how
Yeah.
we look, right? And you say you won't get the body of your dreams until you love the body you already have.
Yeah.
So, talk to us about that. What does that mean for busy women juggling so much, women that really are not happy in the skin they're in the season they're in?
This was this is such a huge one for me, and I wanna take this a step back because when I was fighting and going into that deep depression and feeling very sick to my stomach about the weight gain and hating how I looked and, like, not taking pictures, and my face was puffy and, like, it was just everywhere. I didn't realize how much I got into this negative loop, like, where you're just literally, like, in the shower, you're like, "Ugh," and you don't recognize, but you just feel so disgusting, like, you like, not happy in your skin. And it's like your body will absorb what you have to, like, what you're saying about it, whether you're thinking thoughts about it or whether you're vocalizing and saying things about it, the body absorbs it. So in the work that I do with Body OS, it's really teaching people how to, like, learn certain signals their body gives them so that they're able to respond to those signals and act accordingly. So either A, they don't get sick or they don't end up in burnout, or they help support their system in one way or another. Well, when we're living in these areas or these times in our lives where we're, like, condemning it and we're cursing at it and we're like, Marissa, if I talk to you the way that I talk to my body, I guarantee you and I would not be having this episode because it'd
Oh
be
my
like, gosh,
gosh.
she's
Same.
so mean. She's so mean. Like, what a wretched woman. Like,
We
right?
talk to ourselves so poorly, right? Like I would never
So
talk to other
poorly.
people sometimes the way I say things to me. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, a couple years back, it was because my journey. So I graduated. I just want to kind of close the loop really quick. I graduated chiropractic school in 2019 with that extra, like, 40 pounds. I was going to school in the Bay Area. I live here in San Diego. So I moved back to San Diego. And for 2 years, I literally was trying everything. Like, I mean, between intermittent fasting and all the raw food diets, and maybe I got to go paleo, maybe I got to do this, maybe, and I've always, well, I shouldn't say always, for the last 15 years since I've had my child, she's a teenager now, which is wild. But for the last 15 years, I've been dairy and gluten free. So even being dairy and gluten free for those 15 years, I still packed those 40 pounds on. So it wasn't a a food thing, and it was a ton of cortisol thing for sure. But I was still trying to do all these things based on what everybody in the health and wellness culture was saying to do. You got to wake up at 5 a.m. and you got to get 2 workouts in and you got to drink this much water and you got to. None of that was working. And I woke up one day and I was like, you know what? I was like, this is ridiculous. I said, what do you, and I know this may sound a little out there, but like, just join me in this conversation, ladies. What I started to do was have these conversations. I woke up one morning and I said, what do you want to do? Are we going to do a workout or are we going to go for a walk? I gave my body two different options. And I practice this with clients. I practice this with patients, people in the Body OS membership. We practice this or that. And it's not giving your body so many different options. It's one or another. Do you want coffee or do you want tea? Do you want to go outside for 15 minutes or do we want to get in the sauna or the cold plunge or whatever? Like one or two. Like, I mean, this or that. Okay. And I tell people as you're learning to do this, as you're building a relationship with your body, you're not going to feel like, oh, I don't know what it said to me. I don't know but this is a relationship you're building. Like Marissa, you and I are building a relationship, getting to know each other better, right? Like it's not, we haven't been friends for 15 years. I don't know everything about you. It's like, that's the way it works. So in friendship, in relationship, in life, we get to know people bit by bit. We get to know ourselves bit by bit. So practice this or that. And that's how we work on learning to love our body, going, you know what? Thank you so much for taking me through life. Thank you for getting me like breath in my lungs. Thank you for doing all the things that you're doing to like be resilient and keep me thriving and going so I can live another day with my kids and I can be here for my coworkers or my business, colleagues and so forth. And so really it's kind of again stripping it all back, this or that, and engaging in your body, engaging with your body like that.
It's making me think about that. You know how people are like, when you're more grateful, abundance flows to you, right?
Yeah.
Rather than like stuck in that scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hearing that translate into how you're feeling about your body, right? So instead of like, to exemplify it, and let me know if I'm understanding correctly, but it's like, instead of thinking, oh, I have this like lower belly now that I never had. Oh, I really don't like it. I used to have a flat stomach, whatever. It's more like, yeah, I gave birth to 4 kids and
Yes.
like this belly made that happen, or like this
Right.
area of my body, right? Like supported that.
That is absolutely correct, Marissa. That's exactly it. It is learning to see our bodies as these beautiful gifts that our souls reside in, right? Like our souls live inside these things, and this body takes us through life, and it's seeing those things. It doesn't mean that the little belly pooch that we may not like be super excited about can't go away, but it's learning to go, I love that
We're
you brought
sending it
life.
off with love.
Yes, yes, we are. Totally, totally, totally. But that's like the full circle. When I started practicing this really like love and respect and learning to love the body that I had before I could get the body of my dreams, it took me a while. I am not going to tell you I dropped those 40 pounds in 6 weeks and I didn't, there was no injections, there was no, and this is not to say any judgment on anybody doing any of that kind of stuff, but this is pre the GLP-1 craze that we're existing in. And I did it in 2 years and I've been able to keep it off because I practice this every single day. Now I have a much deeper relationship with my body that I can ask it questions that are more complex rather than this or that, but it's built over time. It's built over these last like 6 years that I've been doing this. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm curious because your cards, like your card deck, are
Yeah.
rooted in biblical scriptures, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell me how faith and physiology work together in this card deck, or just even in how you're approaching this to guide us toward better mental, physical health minus the hustle.
Yeah. So, one of my huge beliefs is that God created our bodies and he created it with so much wisdom. He's gifted us this transport system. I don't want to liken it to a car, but we think about our cars, they get us from point A to B. This body
Mm-hmm.
gets us from point A to B, however that looks, and we a lot of times don't treat them well. We don't take good care of them. And so with the faith aspect and physiology, faith is a big part, but I one thing, whether somebody has faith in God or faith in something else, faith is a part of our human experience. And it's about four different pillars. It's physical health, spiritual health, emotional health, and mental health. You have to have all four pillars standing in order to be truly vibrant and healthy. Now, will someone ever reach the epitome of yes, we're 100% in all four categories? Maybe not, but that's life, but it's really working to obtain different um levels of healing, right, in those different areas. So you could be without physical pain in your body, but you could have like some emotional or mental things going on. Like I mentioned to you with my ex husband, it was brutal, it was nasty, it was ugly, and it caused a lot of physical manifestations in health in my body. So, in terms of how these really relate to coming back and out of that hustle, is again, coming back to the whole creating this beautiful dialogue with your body is we're able to learn to love our body because these two, the previous question that you asked me and this kind of go together is when we learn to love this vehicle that we've been given, we take care of our cars, we need to take care of our bodies. It will show up um, with good mental health and physical health, and it doesn't have to be the hustle. So coming back, this or that, do I go for a mile walk around the neighborhood? Or do I do some body weight exercises and follow a YouTube video, for 15 minutes? Both of those are honoring your body. It doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't remove you from your daily tasks for too long, right? You can find some time in your day-to-day life, 10 to 15 minutes to get some sort of body love in there.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. One last question, then we're going to move on to our lightning round where we're going to get a little more personal with you, Dr. Brooke. But I'm curious, as a coach, I love action. I love practical steps. What
Yeah.
steps would you give our listeners to take if they are experiencing burnout? How can they heal that amongst the chaos of day-to-day life, juggling work, juggling motherhood, juggling relationships, like
Mhm.
all the things?
Well, the biggest one, and I know this one may sound pretty wild, especially when you're running around like, for lack of a better term, a chicken with your head cut off, could be or is rest. Okay. And rest doesn't mean getting to sleep, like going to bed. It means taking a moment. And I mentioned, the working out 10 to 15 minutes. But in those moments of chaos, overwhelm, all of it, it's setting a 3 minute, like it does not have to be long, 3 minute timer just to sit, put your hands on your chest and feel your lungs exhale and inhale and exhale. So feel your lungs move up and down, move up and down. Honestly, that breath can really start to anchor you back into your body, and it actually helps turn on this prefrontal cortex, which is the executive function of your brain. And a lot of times when we're running around in burnout, we don't have this executive function on our brain turned on because we've been designed to not have that. Because we don't need executive function. If there's a tiger running behind us, we just need to run. We need to run away, get away from that threat so we can survive. So when we are taking that 3 minutes just to like stop, like kids, you put the kids to bed, even if you have to hide in the bathroom, okay, like just to sit and just breathe, that is one of the best things you can do to like really help anchor into your body. And if you don't mind, I would love to just talk briefly about how the Talk to Me Body card deck could help with that.
Yes, go
Um,
for it.
Absolutely. So the Talk to Me Body card deck, what it's intended to do is help move you out of fear of every single symptom and more into faith that your body is doing incredible things to keep you alive and thriving. And so there are 63 cards total in the deck. And now the first 20, so 1 through 20, are statements from your body as a whole. So I am your body, like speaking gracious words over me, help me to heal and thrive, and different statements that have actually been curated over all this time of practice with patients, because I'm more to often than not talking people off ledges, so to speak, in terms of, okay, you're not going to die. Yes, I know you have a headache. Yes, I know it's uncomfortable, but you're going to be fine. And your body's doing amazing things to keep you alive. And then from 21 to 63, it's individual pieces of our body. So our liver, our stomach, our pancreas, different organs that make up us. Our hormones. I am your hormones, like a whole card about hormones and how they fluctuate through every season, right? We don't have to keep them the same all the time. We just have to learn to honor it. So when we learn to honor our body, when we learn about it, we can then understand it better, right? So going back to that relationship, Marissa, like the more I know about you, I can honor you. If I knew your favorite color was green and I'm showing up every time I'm coming over to your house or sending you gifts and I'm sending you something red and yellow and silver and gold, you're like, does Dr. Brooke even know me? Like I thought she knew my favorite color was green. That's what happens. Our bodies kind of feel like, does, does she even know me? Like, does she take care of me? Does she like want to see me thriving? And so it's a way of really getting to know your body. There's a QR code that you can scan at the bottom of every single card that allows you to, or well, doesn't, well, it allows you, it's me doing a reflex point for that particular area of your body to help support healing in it. So for instance, if you're on the liver card, there's an area up on your body you can rub that helps support your liver. So it's a way to like really anchor this into your system.
Oh
And there
my
is
gosh, I
scripture
love
on
that.
that. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It's striking me as like a huge self-awareness tool,
Yes.
and I'm a really big fan of self-awareness. I am like I I would stand on a soapbox forever and just be like, why is this not a major you can do in college? Or why are these not courses we're giving our high school students? Right. I mean, I just think it's like
Absolutely.
the most undervalued skill set out there to help you thrive and succeed in life. And this deck sounds to me like an incredible self-awareness toolkit to really get to know yourself at a physical level.
Yes, absolutely. And and then there's the spiritual aspect of it. Are you okay with if I have you pick a number 1 through 63 and I'll actually read the card?
Ooh, yeah, let's do it. Okay. I'm going to pick 63.
Ooh, 63. Ooh, this is so great because we're talking about burnout. So, card 63 is I am your mitochondria. Now, I mentioned those earlier in the episode. They are the power pack, battery power energy supply in your body. When you are experiencing burnout, fatigue, dry skin, all brain fog, all the things, it's this mitochondria not working. So, I want to read it. I am your mitochondria. I am your spark, your cellular energy, your source of sustained energy. When you feel chronically exhausted, it's not a lack of motivation. It's because something is draining me faster than I can recharge. Stress, toxins, or imbalances pull from my reserve. Support me and I will help you rise. And the verse on it is Isaiah 40:31. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. And then I do have the QR code with a point that helps stimulate your mitochondria.
Wow. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for
Absolutely.
reading that to me, to anyone else who's listening who needed to hear that. All right. On that
Absolutely.
note, Dr. Brooke, we're going to head into our lightning round. We're going to ask you some random, fun, personal questions just to get to know you a little bit better. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. If they made a movie about your life, who would you want to play you?
Ooh, maybe Jennifer Gardner.
Yeah, that's
I
a great
know.
choice. Love that. All right. What if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life? What would it be? Calories don't count. I don't think you count calories, but I'm still going to say that.
Yeah. It's actually eggs. If I could eat eggs for the rest of my life, I would. My sister owns a chicken farm and they supply all of San Diego, all these beautiful, yummy eggs, all the chickens living their best lives on the pasture. So those are the eggs I would be
That's
eating.
awesome. That's awesome. What if you
Yeah.
could go on vacation tomorrow anywhere in the world? Where would it be and why?
Norway. My grandma was born and raised there, been there twice already. Just love the country. And yeah, that's where
All right.
I would
Haven't
want to
been to
go.
Norway.
Yeah.
Would love to
Gorgeous.
check that out.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. All right. Last question. What's something most people don't know about you?
They don't know that well, most people don't know that I hate waste. I will use every last drop of everything, before I, like, let it be thrown away, like squeezing the toothpaste all the way out. Food, I'm the same way. Actually, my best friend and I, back in 2018, while I was in grad school, we created an app called Cup Sugar to allow neighbors to connect over sharing and requesting food ingredients. We
Oh,
don't
so
do anything
smart. Mm.
we don't do anything with it now, but it was a beautiful thing that we were able to bring to San Francisco when I was living up in the Bay Area and connected with a lot of apartments and for them to be able to do it. But it was awesome. So I was like, I hate waste so much. We're not going to allow food to get wasted.
That is awesome. I love that. Is it still an app that's like up and
It's
running?
It's not up and running. We've let it go because I'm like, okay, I'm totally now I'm graduate. It was while I was in chiropractic school because when
Got
you're in
it.
grad school, you need more things to do, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. So you guys, I was on the burnout train like no other, going light years at speeding ahead. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well,
But
before we wrap up, tell our listeners where they can find you, connect with you, purchase your deck, all of those things.
yeah, absolutely. So everything is going to be at drbrooksheehan.com. So where they can connect with me, purchase the deck, learn about the Body OS work that I do. I'm on social media at the same Dr. Brooke Sheehan. There's no E in my name, so if you do make that mistake, you will not find me. But yeah, Dr. Brooke Sheehan is where they can find me.
Awesome. Good. And we'll
Yeah.
put all of those links in our show notes today too. So it'll be quick and easy to get in touch with you. Dr. Brooke, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for sending me this incredible gift. I'm so appreciative.
Yeah, you're so welcome. I'm excited for you to get into it.